Hello world, it's Birdo Prey 5, Qapla! Yeah, Qapla. And welcome to Star Trek Deep Space Nine live rewatch / commentary / review of Season 1, Episode 12 on Netflix. Episode 13 to everyone else, Battle Lines. In this episode, we see Kai Opaka for the second time. The best Kai. We had previously seen her in Emissary, when, of course, Commander Sisko went to Bajor and met her in the secret temple under a holographic fountain in a monastery, where she gave him an orb, and he had his first orb experience, and we got introduced to the prophets and all the good stuff that would come from that. Life with Matthew is first. Welcome, Life with Matthew. Rambling Canuck is here. He says, hello, Bird and all. Thank you, Rambling Canuck. Oh, and Life with Matthew says, Qapla, Joe. Always excited for the next DS9 Wednesday. Thank you so much, Life with Matthew. I am always excited for the next DS9 Wednesday, too. It is. I mean, it is one of my favorite things of the week. Every stream is my favorite stream of the week, but on a more accurate note, the Deep Space Nine stream is definitely one of my more favorite streams. Multi-Gunman is here, says, hi Bird, how's it going? It's going good, Multi-Gunman. We are like 5 or 10 minutes away from frickin' Armageddon outside. We have some severe thunderstorm warnings up for the area, so hopefully the stream will go on. But if I get kicked offline, more than likely we could blame it on nature today rather than YouTube or Google. But you never know. You never know. If I did get kicked off, I would find a way back on my cell phone or something just to let you guys know what happened. John the Former Peasant is here. Welcome, John the Former Peasant. Hello. Hello to you, my friend. And let's see. There we go. We've got our stream going. And what's going on here? Yes. Okay. I was wondering, why are the comments coming up on what is to you guys the left side, which to me it's I'm just saying, why are the comments coming up on that side when they usually come up on that side? I realized I moved them to that side because when I watched Deep Space Nine in this screen, you know, the screenshots will come up down there. Yes, I got it right. So yeah. So yes, this is episode 12 on Netflix, episode 13 everywhere else. So if you're going to watch along, and I hope you do, please go ahead and start to get it ready. I'm trying not to do the play-by-play commentary. I mean, it's a lot of work, and I just don't think it adds a lot. I'm trying to do it more like commentary. Almost like if we were all here watching Deep Space Nine together, this is what I'd be saying. Obviously not if we were watching it for the first time. I wouldn't want to spoil it for you. So I assume you've seen Deep Space Nine before. If you haven't, it's your loss. I'm not going to tell you not to watch. I will certainly take the view. I would hope you'd want to watch it on your own. Just consider this is something I have to say about it, after the fact, and we can talk about what's going on. Multi-Gunman says the DS9 documentary I ordered arrived today. I haven't watched it yet. Probably watch it tonight. Very cool, Multi-Gunman. Yes, watch it. Watch it as soon as you can. You're gonna like it. I would promise you, but I'm pretty sure you'd like it. There's always the chance you might not. I wouldn't hold it against you, but I'd be confused. Also, for anybody else, you can get it on Amazon, iTunes, and other places. In fact, this right here is the link, I'm pretty sure, to order it on Amazon through my affiliate link. Of course, this is the US affiliate link. I still have to get some of the international affiliate links up, but if you're interested, use that link to order it on Amazon. Wait, actually, is that that might be Amazon Germany? You know what? Well, whatever. Try it. If Amazon Germany comes up, Amazon Germany comes up. If you get a warning from if you use an ad blocker, you can disable it for that. It's okay. You can mark it as safe. Yes, that's actually the link to Amazon Germany. My bad. My bad. Well, if you're German, use that link. Let me get the American Amazon link. Let's see. This should be it. That's some risk just throwing out URLs. I don't know. Yes, this is it. This is the US link. And where are, oh, there they are. There they are. I was like, where are the comments? Sassy girl. Sassy is trying to say that she loves Deep Space Nine too. Okay, this is the Amazon USA link. It's the Deep Space Nine documentary, What We Left Behind, on DVD, on Blu-ray, and digital. Now, you don't have to buy the movie. You can buy it on digital for like 14 or 15 bucks. But you could just rent it for a few dollars. So if you didn't want to, throw down 15 bucks to buy it, you could just rent it. I suggest buying it, though. Just a heads up on that front. And even if you don't buy it from Amazon, go ahead and do yourself a favor and find yourself a copy, because it's worth it. I'm not saying to buy it because of me. I'm saying you should get it because of you. Don't worry about the Amazon link. That's not the biggest thing. John DeMarco says, greetings. Welcome, John DeMarco. Life with Matthew says, if you haven't seen DS9 before, you need to give it a season to hook you. It has all the feeling of a Star Trek series while also having a larger ongoing narrative. Very true. Very true. Where are we? I see I skipped a couple of comments. John, the former president, says the chat's on the wrong side because my widgets are gay. A multi-god man to John, former president. Bird uses his white privilege to move the comments to the other side. That, I suppose that was it. Sassy girl, please, baby. Dan23 is in the house. Welcome, Dan23. Qapla, good to see you. John DeMarco says Sassy has good taste in TV shows. And Joseph Patrick says, hi, Joe, Mamo Praise Sassy, and the QWERTY community. Joseph, I don't know if you were here a minute ago, but I accidentally threw this out. This is an Amazon affiliate link if you are interested. I know you brought it up yesterday, and it's the Amazon Germany affiliate link. If it's of any use to you, great. If not, don't worry about it. So, yeah, I'm going to get ready here in a couple minutes. So, this is episode 12 on Netflix, episode 13 from everybody else, Deep Space Nine, called Battle Lines, season 1. I like this episode. From what I remember, this was one of my, I'm not going to say it was one of my favorite, but It was certainly, I would say, an above average season 1 episode. I loved Kai Opaka. She was by far the favorite Kai of the show. I don't know, Nerdrotic. Nerdrotic is going live, of course. Of course. But Kai Opaka, I hope Nerdrotic has a great stream. I really do, and obviously, you guys who want to watch Nerdrotic, obviously you will. Not a problem. I would be watching Nerdrotic if I wasn't live myself right now. But since I'm going to do this, I will watch her afterwards, since he will probably still be streaming. Kai Opaka, and spoiler alert, she dies. So she doesn't die. She doesn't technically die, but she doesn't technically live. This is the last we see of her, if I recall. Though, I think she may make a couple of appearances as I was just going to say a Force ghost, as a prophet in like when Cisco has some orb experiences or encounters with the prophets in the wormhole. I think Opaka might be in some of those visions, but as Kai of Bajor, this is the end for Kai Opaka, which really sucks because man, do I hate the next Kai. But we will save that for when it happens. There's some real hate. I hated that woman. As much as I loved Opaka, I hated that woman. Now, great actress. She did a great job because you were supposed to hate her. You were not supposed to like whatever the hell her name is, which is escaping me at the moment. You weren't supposed to like her as Kai. She did a fantastic job. I'm not saying anything bad about the actress. I'm saying about her character. She played it well. It was someone you wanted to hate. Unlike Dukat, who was a bad guy. But you weren't supposed to hate Dukat necessarily. Right? Dukat, you were supposed to see this guy as maybe had he grown up differently, he'd have turned out to be a different person. Yes, he was a monster, but he was a monster with a code, so to say. Let's just say there could be worse, right? There could be worse things. If I had to be a victim of some tyrannical despot, I would probably pick Dukat over somebody who just, kills for shits and giggles. Like a real, I don't know, what's that phrase? A real sadistical, SOB, say. Right? Dukat wasn't sadistical, right? He wasn't. He, in fact, when Wayun was saying that they were going to destroy the Earth, no, Dukat stopped him. He's like, no, you don't want to destroy the Earth. And he's like, why? And he's like, because you want your enemies to realize, true victory is when you realize you make your enemies realize they were wrong for opposing you in the first place. And then Wayun says, and then you kill them. And Dukat's like, well, if you have to. Okay, he's not for unnecessary killing. He was not a great guy, but in the scheme of things, I would take Dukat over that second Kai, who was a scheming. She was only looking out for herself. Dukat was looking out for what he thought was best for Cardassia. He really did. The decisions Dukat made, he really made them thinking they were best for Cardassia. The new Kai, what is it? Kai Wynn. Kai Wynn doesn't make the decisions on what's best for Bajor, or even what's best for the Bajoran people. She makes decisions on what's best for Kai Wynn. So Kai Wynn is a shittier person, in my opinion, than Gul Dukat. Yosef Patrick with a €2 super chat. Thank you so much, Yosef. Says only Turtistani and traitors leave for Nerdrotic. Well, Yosef, that's not true. We accept everyone. And you know, if I was up against Nerdrotic or Doomcock or I wouldn't really go up against Anti-Tracker unless it was a joke. You know, I wouldn't mind somebody leaving. I certainly would get it. I'd hope you'd come back and listen later. But if you don't have time, I get it. Right? I'd rather say, hey, I'm leaving to go to Nerdrotic than say I'm leaving to cut my toenails or bleach my nether regions, right? I don't want you to leave because of that. If you're saying you're leaving to listen to Nerdrotic, I'm like, okay, I can't compete with Nerdrotic. But if I lose you to a bodily function, a voluntary bodily function that you didn't even have to do, that would make me feel bad. Leaving to say you're going to Nerdrotic, no, I'm okay with that. That's like if your wife leaves you for an ugly guy, you're like, shit, what did I do? But if your wife leaves you for like, I don't know, like a top Hollywood, you know, I don't even know who, like a George Clooney, although I'm guessing he's kind of old these days, but whoever women find sexy these days, I don't know, in Hollywood. If your wife leaves you for like the top star in Hollywood, you're like, what could I really do? I don't feel too bad. If she leaves you for, you know, a bum she finds on the street who, you know, is not particularly attractive and perhaps smells of rat droppings and Vaseline, and you're like, shit, you have to really look into yourself and see what have I become that she's left me for a Vaseline stenched bum on the street. Where if she leaves you for George Clooney, you're like, George Clooney. Okay, whatever. I'll deal. Anyway, I'll get to the comments, then I will get started. And so, yeah, if anybody's going to follow along, please go ahead and get your episode 12 on Netflix queued up. Battle lines. John, the former peasant, says, gee, what could be wrong? What could he be ordering from Amazon Germany? Kennewick Sapien says, you have to ask. I had the German link out in my clipboard, John, because I promised Joseph and someone else yesterday that I would get the German Amazon link. And I forgot that it was the most recent Amazon link I had in my clipboard. That's why I have it. Dan23 says, hey, welcome again, Dan. John DeMarco says, sassy is good taste. I've read that. Joseph Petrick says, hi, Joe, Mamo Pray, Sassy, and the Quarty community. Thank you so much, Joseph. And then I put in the link to German Amazon. John the former peasant says, Sassy wants Enterprise. Not DS9, Beagle Solidarity. Yes, that is why she's barking. She wants Captain Archer. Yosef says, thanks a lot, saving it. Thank you, Yosef. Cinnabon Bunny says, hello. Cinnabon Bunny put out a very cool video either last night or early this morning. I saw it this morning. I loved it. It is 5 minutes of his rabbit eating a leaf of lettuce, and it is easily the cutest video I've seen in the last week. And it's just this big rabbit going. Of course, the rabbit has no hands, so it's just its mouth. No using that anti-tracker. No using that for any super chats. But the rabbit is munching away on a piece of lettuce. Rabbits are the only animals that can be happy with a slice of lettuce, right? Humans, you give a human a slice of lettuce, he's like, unless it's on a cheeseburger, I don't want to see lettuce, right? Maybe if it's in a crisp salad with croutons and shredded cheese and, you know, a gallon of honey mustard dressing, I'll eat the lettuce. But you just give any animal a plain thing of lettuce, and 9 out of 10 animals would be like, throw it down on the ground. Sassy, she'd look at you like, what are you kidding me? You give a piece of lettuce to a rabbit, it just eats it away. Now, it's not going to be a best friend, because rabbits, as much as I think rabbits are cute animals, I don't think they bond like dogs, but whatever. John the Former Peasant says Kai Opaka has the best wool and doctrine. Life with Matthew says freaking Kai win. Yes, Kai win. That backstabbing son of a bitch. Josh Street says, in other words, bird an evil god dictator like you. Maybe. Dan23 says, a fact about this episode. When the runabout crashes on the planet, you notice a different warp nacelle, like from a TNG shuttle. Oh, very cool, Dan. We'll keep an eye out on that. I was not aware. And then Yosef put in his €2 super chat. Thank you, Yosef, again. Dan23, DS9 is favorite. Very cool. Yosef says, I know, just showing my appreciation, and it is deeply appreciated. Kenowix says, DS9 beats Nerdrotics, Game of Thrones, Doctor Who. Why, thank you. Life with Matthew says, put down the bottle of highlights. Fine, I'll say. Puts down the bottle of highlights. Fine, I'll stay. Bottle of highlights. I know Highlights is a children's magazine. That would make some sense. I'm not sure how it would be in a bottle. Dan23 says, Win actress played the Nurse Ratched in that movie. I did not see that movie. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Mama Prey is asking. John DeMarco says, Win was an excellent villain, but I kind of wish they'd kept Opaka around a little. Yeah, when I went back, because when I remembered Deep Space Nine after the first time, I kind of remembered Opaka being there for like 2 seasons. And then when I started rewatching, I was like, shit, Opaka died halfway into season 1. I mean, we only really saw her on screen twice. I thought Opaka had a longer history. Dan23 says, okay, Dan. Joseph Patrick says, Idris Elba, that's what I call her all the time. Lol. Kenowix says, rat droppings plus Vaseline equal Aidi Tordi. Is that the smell of the Turdistani? Kronos says, Qapla, Birdo Prey 5. What did I miss? Not much, Kronos. We're just about to get started once I get to the end of these comments. Dan23 says, I'm old enough to remember DS9 on VHS tape. I'm right there with you, Dan. I had recorded many a DS9 episodes right to VHS. Those 8-hour extended VHS on long play. You could get 8 episodes in. John DeMarco says, I used to have almost the whole series recorded onto VHS. Very cool. Rambling Canuck says, will be here but can't chat much. I will listen as I rest. Understood, Rambling Canuck. Thank you for hanging out. And I did listen to your whole stream today, Rambling Canuck. I was about an hour behind, I guess, but I did listen. It was cool. Everybody should check out Rambling Canuck. He does great live streams when you get a chance. Dan23 says, yes, I remember using blank VHS tapes to record from the TV. Yeah. Used to get VHS tape at the supermarket or anywhere, basically. The drugstore. They all sold VHS tapes. Put it in. The thunder has started. Cinnabon Bunny is lolling. Multigunman says, low bird doing that would make a good super chat. Kronos says, note to Anti-Trekker, use that. No, don't use it. Dan23 says, my favorite episode of Enterprise is Silent Enemy. I don't know that one by title, Dan, but if you gave me a couple of things from it, I'm sure I would. Yosef says, wanted to order an Alexa. Guess what? Not slipping to Slovakia because of language support. FFS. I speak fluent German and English. Stupid Amazon. Yosef, that sucks, but I'm sure you will get yours soon enough. Dan23 says, we can see he likes honey salad dressing. Honey mustard. Honey mustard. Dan says, not sure how much you have to pay me to watch a YouTube video about Game of Thrones. John DeMarco says, Cisco had a vision of Opaka in a later season, but I think, yes, it's after this episode. Live with Matters VHS. Lol, thanks to an aunt who upgraded to DVD, I ended up owning most of the official Voyager VHS releases. Wow. Voyager was right near the end of VHS era on TV. And Joseph Patrick says, Bird of Prey, can you check Discord under self-promotion? Sure, Joseph, for you, my friend, I will. And then we will get started on today's episode. Signing into Discord. I see I have a message from Peter Quinn. Peter Quinn sent a funny picture about somebody's Jeep being hit. It was a joke. Self-promotion on Bird of Prey. Oh, very, very cool. Okay, we got to bring this up. We've got to bring this up. Yosef got copy link. Copy link. Okay, how are we gonna do this? How are we gonna do this? Yeah. Oh, guys, we do remember to switch on over to live chat. I am on top chat. I messed up. In fact, this one's on live chat too. There we go. Okay, so here's what we got to do. Come on, will this work, please? Please work. Please work. That is the wrong. God damn it. Thankfully, I saved it. Okay. Don't worry. We're right there. We are right there. Okay. Come on. Yes, it worked. Yosef got his mug today from the Teespring store. And there it is, Bird of Prey 5 mug. I'm assuming this is the mug that has the different quotes on the back, Yosef, which are very cool. And you got me up on a laptop. And even though it's a different brand laptop, it looks so much like my own laptop, I had to do a double take and say, wait, is that my laptop? No. So very cool, Yosef. It makes me so... Actually, it makes me feel a little weird, but very happy. Very happy that you actually ordered it, man. I know some other people have ordered it too. It's really... I mean, don't get me wrong. I know everybody comes here, and I enjoy them, and it's really cool, but... I don't know, something surprises me. I really wasn't expecting many people to be ordering my merch. It was more... yeah, I'll do merch, but I really didn't expect anybody to do anything with it. It's really cool, man. It's really cool. I appreciate it, and it will help. It will help the channel. Sci-Fi Guy says, Qapla, Bird of Prey in chat. Qapla, Sci-Fi Guy. Dan23 says, some of the people in this episode have Dominion-like weapons. We will check that. Live chat done. Thank you, Sci-Fi Guy. Dan23 says, warning, Major Cure will cry this episode, judge acting. Will cry in this episode, judge acting. Joseph says, it is one with the quotes, and I work for the notebook manufacturer. Oh, you work for them. Very cool. Dell. Well, gotta say, I've only heard good things about Dell computers. Dell support, iffy. The computer's usually pretty top-notch. If you do the support, Joseph, you gotta step up your game a little. That's all I'm saying. No, I'm not saying you. I'm just saying sometimes some people, if you ever hear anything bad about Dell, it's about their support, not about their hardware. At least as best I've figured out. Joseph says it's the one with the quotes. Oh, I just read that. And Kronos says, Bird of Prey, does every mug come with a complimentary vacuum? No. No, Kronos, no vacuum. I'm sorry. The mug price is quite a bit cheaper than the cheapest vacuum you can find, I'm sure. At least the cheapest full-sized vacuum. Certainly one that would be good for me. Joseph says the support is horrible. Same as all big brands. You are so right. Okay, so as long as we're on the same page. But the hardware is good. And you know what? If the hardware is good enough, you don't need the support. Unless you don't know what you're doing. But then you really don't need Dell support. You probably need Microsoft support. But then Microsoft probably has a deal with Dell. Like, we don't want these people calling us. So we'll pay you to take care of Microsoft's calls. Because, we're giving you a good price on Windows for your machines or something. Okay, I'm getting Netflix set up now. We are gonna... Let's bring up the... there we go. You've got it right in the corner now. If you noticed, it came up. That's actually the opening screenshot of this episode. This is the first episode I've seen where it actually doesn't start with an outside picture of the space station. Well, except for Emissary. Emissary obviously didn't start with an outside picture of Deep Space Nine, but this is the first one since Emissary that I recall that actually starts in an office or with people rather than an outside shot of Deep Space Nine. And maybe I'm forgetting, but I think that's true. So I will only see comments now on my tablet, which means if you want me to read the comment, please put @BirdOPrey5, or of course a super chat if you want. It's not required, but those are the only ways I'll be able to notice your chats. And if I missed any of the added signs, I will get to them when we're at the end of the video. And again, I'm trying not to do the play-by-play commentary like I did in the earlier episodes. I'm trying to do it more as just, friendly commentary, like we're all hanging out and, maybe 2 minutes will go by and I might not say anything. I hope not, but I'm not going to say, oh, and Cisco walks in and, oh, Jake smiles. I'm going to try not to say that stuff. I'll say something that's, when it makes sense to say something. I hope. John Meyer says, but does Anti-Trekker do Dell support? Well, John Meyer will never know because he won't tell us. Dan23 says, who really likes contacting tech support over the phone? Not me. Joseph says, you sound like an insider. Kronos says, Anti-Trekker is into real estate. Well, I used to do IT stuff before I got sick. So, yes, I was in that scene. Not working for the companies, but we ordered tons of Dell. We ordered either Dell or HP servers, and the Dell servers performed better. I'm going to say that. Granted, that was way back in 2008, 2009, the most recent ones we ordered that I was there for. But back in those days, yes, I prefer the Dell over the HPs. But the HPs were a close second. Kronos says Anti-Trekker is into real estate. Exactly. We've all seen the photos. Dan23 says Netflix and Trek. Yeah, while it lasts. John Myers says hint, hint, nudge, nudge, super chat. Yeah, hint, hint. Yeah, you can put in a super chat if you want. Kronos says Bird of Prey, is this a spoiler-free stream? No, Kronos. I already let it out of the bag. Kai Opaka is not going to make it. Wesley says, Bird of Prey 5. Hey, man, made it very cool, Wes. We're just about to start watching the episode. Dan23 says, Emissary is the only time DS9 has Borg. You know, you're absolutely... Well, yes. That you see the Borg, yes. They mention the Borg, however, when they get the Defiant. Because they have to talk about, why were they building the Defiant? They were building it to fight the Borg. Wesley says, Bird of Prey, what's going on today? Wes, just trying to watch this episode. We've got some severe thunderstorms going on outside. And I crashed my first ship in Space Engineers. A spectacular failure. I was way up in altitude. You know what I'm talking about. I built the ship on the ground below the base, and I was flying it up to that tall mountain butte across from the base. I got 90% of the way up to the mountain, and the ship just fell apart. I can't figure out what happened. I think what happened, I can't be sure because like the ship disintegrated, and I could only find like 25% of the parts from the ship. I think what happened was I accidentally used conveyor boxes instead of cargo containers, and maybe conveyor boxes and certainly curved tubes just aren't sturdy enough to support a ship and engines and stuff. I can only imagine the ship shook itself apart. Otherwise, it was a great success. It was flying really well until it exploded. It was flying really well until it fell apart and killed me. Dan23 says, it's an episode watch. Wesley says, yes, I just answered. Kronos says, what happens to Kai Opaka? Dead. Well, not dead. You'll see. Live with Madison Bird of Prey, did the Borg not make an appearance in the pilot episode? Yes, they did make an appearance. That's why he said that it was the only time the Borg made an appearance was in Emissary, which is, of course, the pilot of Deep Space Nine. Joseph says, Linus did a 3-part video on purchasing and servicing branded computers. They were not the worst. Made me actually happy. Far from the best, but not the worst. Made me weirdly proud. Well, that's pretty cool, Joseph. I would say Dell is certainly a top tier major manufacturer. I don't know who else I'd put above Dell. I could see some others on the level. I don't know who I'd say was definitively better than Dell. But again, I'm 10 years out of date on this stuff. Josh Street says, Bird, Sassy is the one that sabotaged your ship. Never, it was not Sassy. Wesley says, Bird of Prey, it's about time you make and crash a ship. Do it again. I think tonight, if as long as I have power after this, I will plan to go power and internet. I do plan to try and make another ship. Man, I spent 3 hours making a ship. It was all gone. All of it gone in seconds. Cross says, Joseph, what was the worst? Dan says, it's a good episode indeed. Wesley says, Bird of Prey, you should build some armor to connect the parts. You know, Wes, I wanted to fly it. I didn't have time to build armor. And Not Ryan Johnson says, hello and Qapla. Long live Karoga. Hello and Qapla, Not Ryan Johnson. Indeed, long live Karoga. And Joseph says, Kronos can't say, I'm going to keep it up with the company policy, not bad-mouthing competitors. Oh, that's a pretty cool, that's an admiral. That is an admiral. Admiral? Admirable company policy. And Kronos understands. Okay, guys, so this is it. We're going to watch the episode. Like I said, this episode actually starts in an office scene instead of the station. So we kind of jump right into it. And I'm going to really try not to do the play-by-play, but sometimes I do. So, 5, 4, 3, sound is off, 2, 1. Okay, so you see Dax, O'Brien, and Cisco are in his office. basically they just found some documents, files hidden in the Cardassian computer system, and they were able to easily decode them. So they knew Ducat wanted them to read them, and O'Brien says we better warn Kira before she reads the file. Of course, Kira came walking in and said, "Warn me about what?" And she said, "I'm a big girl, Commander. I can take it." So she goes, they leave her in his office. She's reading the file, and Sisko comes out. So now Dr. Bashir is calling Sisko. He's saying, "You better come down here." And thankfully, instead of just saying, "I'm on my way," like they always say in Star Trek, Sisko actually asks, "Why? Why do you want me to come down there?" And Bashir says, "Because Kai Opaka's here." You think he would have led with that, right? Would have been so hard? "Hey, Commander, maybe you want to come down here. Kai Opaka is here." Like, I hate when they say, "Come on down right away." And they don't give you a damn reason to come on down to the bridge or the engine room. Like, would it hurt to say, "Hey, Captain, come on down to engineering. The warp core is about to go critical." Or, "Hey, Captain, come on down to engineering. Data is breakdancing on the turbo lift," or something. You know, just give me a reason. Maybe I don't want to come down. Maybe I'm too busy to come down. And you always say, "Come right away." Well, unless you're the captain, you shouldn't be telling anybody to come right away. I mean, 7 and 9 got away with it in Voyager because she didn't know proper etiquette. And nobody wanted to correct her for reasons. Like, "Yeah, it's not right to tell people to report to Astrometrics 7. You know, God forbid we tell you that that's not right behavior on a starship." So Kai Opaka made it on the station because Sisko invited her for a tour, an emissary. So she was looking out a window. They tell her this is where the wormhole. You can see it, but there's no ship scheduled to go through for a few days. So it's too bad you came today. So Kai Opaka looks at Sisko and smiles, and Sisko tells Brian to gas up the old Rio Grande or whatever runabout they're taking. They're going to take Kai Opaka through the wormhole, which of course makes sense. Why wouldn't you? This is diplomacy 101. So Kai Opaka is now looking at Chief O'Brien, and Opaka can tell using her magic Bajoran Kai powers that she doesn't have to touch his ear, that O'Brien has a kid, and O'Brien says, "Yes, I have a little girl." So the Kai takes off her necklace and gives it to O'Brien to give to Molly, of course his daughter. And now that I think about it, I don't think we ever see this necklace again. Would have been nice if at some point in the future this necklace comes into play. Maybe I'm wrong, but I've watched Deep Space Nine in full 6 times, maybe 7 times. I don't ever recall seeing this necklace come to play again, which is a shame since they did set it up. Ozzy NF says, "What's up, people? Welcome, Ozzy." A multi-gun man says, "Data breakdancing on the turbo lift." Yes. Dan23 says there's an interview with the actress who plays... Oh, it's the credits, by the way, now. There's an interview with the actress who plays Major Kira, and she talks about how the role was freedom fighter to her, not a terrorist. Well, there's an interview with her on the Deep Space Nine documentary, What We Left Behind, that just came out and is available on Amazon now, and iTunes, and you can purchase it, where she says that she was a terrorist and that she doesn't think they could make the show post 9/11 because she says, "I was a terrorist." She says that. Those are her words. Or either Kira was a terrorist or I was a terrorist. And she acknowledges that they probably couldn't make Deep Space Nine. In fact, they asked Stephen Ira Bear, I believe, could we make this show today, post 9/11? And he says, not how we did it. You know, the role of Kira would not be possible post 9/11. Now, maybe in 2005 it wouldn't have been possible. I think we're in 2019. Sad to say, I think most people have forgotten. And hell, half the people don't even think 9/11 really happened. So, you could probably do Deep Space Nine now if you wanted to. But the problem is nobody would want to. I got no problem with Kira. Kronos' Bird of Prey, you could start the stream again. The video isn't synced up right. It seems pretty synced up to me. I can see it just came back from the credits. Opaka and Cisco and Kira and Bashir. Bashir talked his way onto the mission. They're all on the runabout. They're going through the wormhole for the first time. Kronos, were you serious about that sync issue, or was this a joke? Because that kind of worries me. And Wesley says the video's fine to him. So, there. So, the Kai is very happy. And Cisco says it's the smoothest ride he's had yet. So Cisco's telling her about its 70,000 light years. And it would take our fastest starship 67 years to get here. Over 67 years. And that she'll see what this wormhole will mean to Bajor in a few years. So Opaka, and they call her Opaka instead of Kai Opaka, but they keep calling her Opaka. They don't understand. Opaka's been talking about a prophecy, and she feels like there's some type of prophecy, and they don't understand what's going on. You know, Cisco and Kira aren't getting it. Now they're getting a signal from I don't know, it's not an emergency signal. They're getting some type of signal beacon, and Cisco says let's launch a probe to go check it out, and Kai Opaka's like, you know, please go check it out. Don't not go on my account. I don't get out often. So Cisco agrees, and he gets Kira to find the source, and they're going to head on over. It's okay, Kronos. I don't mind. I just wanted to check if it was a joke or serious. Not synced with my clips. I'm like maybe 2 seconds ahead of the clips. Just so I can have 2 seconds to think before I talk. I don't know. So there is a network of artificial satellites. The satellite was what was sending the signal. And there are satellites that are trying to repair the other satellites. They just picked up a signal from a repair satellite. Now Bashir finds some humanoid life signs, possible humanoids. So Cisco, the explorer here, wants to go in a little closer to see what's going on. Maybe if you have these satellites in orbit, if they don't want to talk to you, maybe you shouldn't go a little closer. Okay? Obviously they have technology, or if they wanted to contact you, they would have. So one of their satellites just created some type of giant pulse, and now this is it. This is the scene where the runabout crashes. Let's look for that TNG warp nacelle. And Kai Opaka is looking with bated breath. And Cisco's ejecting the antimatter. Bracing for impact. I'll tell you, it's no Star Trek Generations crash scene, for sure. And we've got some dust on the planet. Is this the TNG? Yeah, that doesn't look like a runabout, does it? The Yahtzee Kiang? Forget that one. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. I'm guessing that was the scene. I'll be honest. I didn't notice. I did not notice it looking any different, but that's for nitpickers. So they're pulling Kai Opaka's body out of the runabout. The runabout appears visibly on fire on the inside, like an oven. Yet none of them are burned, thankfully. And yeah, this is Kai Opaka. Now, Bashir is saying she's got pulmonary collapse, but he's doing good old-fashioned CPR. There's nothing more he could do for her. Well, he takes out the tricorder. Nope, dead. So Bashir says he's sorry, and here is where we see Kira crying for the first time, and I believe only time we see Kira crying. Certainly the most emotional we see Kira in a long time, if not forever. Kira is openly crying over Kai Opaka's body. And now she's doing some Bajoran prayer. So, I mean, this would be like if you were Roman Catholic and the Pope died. Like that you brought the Pope out and the Pope died on your watch. And now some aliens from the planet are coming over with guns. And Cisco says, we've got company. And you see, I don't know, a dozen of these guys aiming weapons. Yosef says, Bird of Prey, after seeing the Picard trailer, my wife said, was that 9 to 5 after Jerry Ryan appeared on the screen? I threatened her jokingly with divorce for about a week. Working 9 to 5. Yeah, I got it. What a way to make a living. John Araki says, Qapla, John Araki. Okay, so they're back on the station. Odo's kind of worried. Everybody's worried. The runabout is late. And Odo's like, I need to tell Odo, Bajor keeps calling. They want to know where the Kai is. And, O'Brien and Dax are telling him, tell them we're doing our best. And Odo's like, I can't tell that. You can't just tell them that. Do you know how much the Kai means to them? Like he says, like the Pope. It's like you lost the Pope. So the aliens have them, and they've noticed that they're not all the same race. Although the only real difference are some nose ridges. I don't know how you would even tell right away that they weren't the same race. So. Yes, the Chinese Yellow River. Thank you, Yosef. Yahtzee. I know I'm pronouncing it wrong. Yahtzee Kian. Yangtze Kian. All the runabouts are named after rivers, which are very cool. I like that. Earth rivers, surprisingly enough. The Rio Grande, Yangtze Kim. No Amazon or Nile. Those would have been too obvious. Or the Mississippi. Could you imagine? Load up the Mississippi. We're going to Kronos. So the aliens are talking. They're fighting. a brutal enemy that attacks. They have to have a constant vigil. You know who this is? This is Mike. This is Mike from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. I recognize his voice now. I knew he was in this episode. This alien guy, he's Mike. He's the badass from Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad. It looks so much better knowing who this guy is. Okay, before this, like, this guy should really be going up against Garrick. Okay, I mean, hearing his voice, he's got so much more presence, knowing his what he went on to become as an actor, rather than just a background actor on a Star Trek show. I don't know why there's no L.A. River runabout West. Yangtze Kian, just another young Sikh, and you got it, Bird of Prey. Just another young Sikh. Yahtzee Kiak Sikh. It's Mike. Yes, it's Mike. I wish you guys could listen to his voice. Why is he Bird of Prey? Because there is no Los Angeles River. Well, whatever they call that drainage ditch that the water flows through. The sewer water that the people of LA drink. So, Kira's kind of upset. Kind of upset that Kai Opaka is dead, that her life ended on some unknown moon. Why doesn't Kira just accept that this was the will of the prophets? So, there's a war going on. Cisco tells Bashir that they'll protect them in exchange for Bashir's services. So Cisco has pimped out Dr. Bashir. Cisco has pimped out Dr. Bashir to keep them all safe. And now the enemy is attacking. Now they said that they stopped using directed energy weapons years ago. Not deadly enough or not cruel enough. But these look like directed energy weapons to me. Jonathan Banks. That is Mike. Thank you, Kronos. I am terrible with actors and actresses' names. Terrible. Isn't it funny how all the rocks from all the different planets almost always look the same? I mean, even Space Engineers has more rock diversity than Star Trek. Joseph says, let's try again. Young Sikh Young. You got the pronunciation down. Young Sikh Young? Is the Young Sikh Young River? Thank you, Joseph. I'm hooked on phonics with Joseph. And Kai Opaka comes out of the shadows. How is Kai Opaka alive? My mind is blown. Oh, wait. We know, because we've seen it before. Dr. Bashir is checking her, and he says that her vital signs are normal. And so Cisco's asking Opaka if she's aware of what happened. And the last thing she remembered was being knocked unconscious in the runabout. It was a deafening whine. Pew, 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 yes. She felt the bulkhead pass through her, and then nothing. Ye George? Hello? Robocalls. So, Opaka seemingly alive. Bashir doesn't really have an explanation. She's looking around. And Cisco's asking Bashir for an explanation. And Bashir is saying, well, she looks normal, but her physiology is radically altered. So there's something biomechanical going on, artificial. So basically, nanites. But basically, Bashir just keeps saying he doesn't know. Bashir is like, I'm going to need the runabout's computer to run an analysis. And then they come over to one of the other people who were killed. And they're magically okay. The rock had killed them, but now they're waking up. And now you find out what's the true nature of this place. You can't die. There's no escape. It is a prison with no escape. Not even death. Eternal life. Eternal damnation. So we've got the B team here. Dax and O'Brien chasing, looking for them in another runabout. So O'Brien found a trail. So Dax says there's an uncharted binary star system in the direction that they went. And O'Brien says, well, time to chart it. So Bashir is saying that his readings are the same as Opaka's. Virtually every cell shows biomechanical properties. Bashir really wants to go to the runabout to get the computer up and running. And Cisco's like, we're in the middle of a war. But Bashir's like, this could be a breakthrough of unimaginable proportions. And Cisco's like, yeah, okay. So Mike, the alien, is talking. Mike is asking and saying, your doctor seems like he's seen a miracle. And Cisco's like, he's not the only one. And Mike is like, well, when you've lived with it as long as we have, you don't see it as a miracle. Everything here is to prolong our suffering. The Ennis and the Knoll Ellis are ancient enemies. Generations and generations fought the same war. A cautionary tale. They've been brought here to serve as an example for the rest of civilization. They don't even know what they were fighting over. So Opaka wants to know why were you fighting? He doesn't know. She's like, well, why do you keep fighting? And he says, vengeance, which is a total Mike answer. And now Kira is pissed off at them. Kira is in total freedom fighter mode. They don't defend themselves because they can't die. Why? Kronos is bird of prey if you were blown to bits or incinerated. What about if you were blown to bits or incinerated? There has to be a point where the nanites couldn't help. I agree, Kronos, but it seems like they've never thought that far out. When you cease to fear death, the rules of war change. And he says, you'll understand as the years go on. And Cisco says, you listen to me, you son of a bitch. No, he didn't say that. But you listen to me, our rescue's not going to take years. They're going to transport us out of here. And so this guy's saying, then you'll be luckier than we've been. And Cisco's saying, we'll transport all of you out if you want. And now Mike is saying, away from here? To live one life, to die in peace? It's almost like Shakespeare. To us, this is an ancient prayer that's never been answered. You would do this for us? And Cisco's saying he would do it for both sides. Why would you let both sides off? Just so that they could go start fighting somewhere else? So Mike is saying the leader of the other tribe would never agree to a ceasefire. And Cisco's like, ask him. Mike says it's hopeless. It's hopeless, but I will talk, if he will. Dan23 says, Bird of Prey, I think directive energy weapons has an energy beam. But I thought they said they stopped using directed energy weapons. So O'Brien is saying that they scanned, there's nothing where they could have survived. Of course, Dax is saying, I don't think we can believe the scans. The sun is putting out some type of radiation that makes it hard to scan. So they're going to have to manually scan each planet and a bunch of moons. And O'Brien says it's like finding a needle in a haystack. And then it reaches him. He's like, a needle in a haystack. All you need is a magnet. He's like, what we need is a magnet. So O'Brien is saying that runabout hulls are made of metallic components that react to metallic fields, which just means that they're metallic, they're magnetic. Apparently, Dax has said that the magnetic deflection of the hulls is super weak. The probes would never detect it, but O'Brien, of course, is going to invent something called a differential magnetometer that would be able to detect the slightest bit of magnetic material from the runabout. Meanwhile, Dr. Bashir, who just took a Basics to Starfleet Tech course in the Academy, managed to get the computer up and running. Dr. Bashir is a bit of a Mary Sue. Just have to say. So the alien leader, Zelenko, has agreed to listen. So the alien leader, Mike, is telling them that they agreed to come unarmed. And Kira's like, well, what if it's a trap? And Mike is like, we took precautions. But if you want to check it personally, you're welcome to. And now Kai Opaka comes to Kira and says you can't bury it. And Opaka's like, you recognize yourself in these people. Kira's like, no, I don't. They're condemned to die. I always fought to survive, Kira said. No, Kira, you were just like these people. Admit it. Admit it to your Kai, Kira. You have the wrong impression of me, Opaka, she says. No, she doesn't. So what impression do you think I have? That I enjoyed any of this. No, she didn't enjoy it. She doesn't enjoy fighting, but she does like killing Cardassians. Kira fought for a good cause, unlike these guys who are fighting for vengeance. Kira certainly never would have killed anybody because of vengeance, right? That doesn't sound like Kira. So Kira's talking to Opaka now, but she's really talking to us, the audience. She doesn't want the audience to think that she's some violent person without a soul. That's not who she is. And now Kai Opaka gives her the Bajoran ear grab, which somehow shares like inner peace with her. It's not as well known as the Vulcan nerve pinch, but it seems to be just as effective. She takes Kira into her bosom. Kira has only known violence since she was a child. And Kai Opaka tells her that in the eyes of the prophets we're all children, and Bajor has much to learn about peace. And Kira is asking if the prophets would forgive her. Of course they will. You're going to meet them in a couple of years. They're basically your neighbors. And, oh yeah, Commander Sisko, he's part prophet, by the way. So don't worry. As long as you're in with Sisko, you have a spot in whatever the hell you call it, the Great Temple or the Celestial Temple. You got a spot. Grabbed her by the ear. Yes. The Bajoran ear grab doesn't have the same ring to it. So they sent some probes out, and they found a 0.0012 fluctuation in the hysterexis. And O'Brien, like, it's the third planet. And Jack's like, no, it's the moon. So they're they're headed to the moon. It's the moon of the third planet. So Bashir has been in the runabout this whole time. The runabout, which was on fire, mind you, last time we saw it. I guess it had automatic fire control. It just stopped burning and nothing inside looks burned. Anyway, so Bashir comes out and they've already got it set up for some type of peace meeting. He says that they're nanites in a way. There are nanites. So Bashir is like, how did you get them to agree to a ceasefire? And Sisko said, I'd agreed we'd transport him off this moon. And so Bashir says, isn't that like assisting in a jailbreak? And he's laughing. And Sisko very seriously says, I don't need you interpreting the Prime Directive for me, Doctor. So the alien leader comes over. And it's like, they want to know what the Federation is. Over 100 planets who have allied themselves for mutual scientific, cultural, and probably military benefit. I missed it. What a noble purpose. So the guy wants to let him know that there's going to be no reward for our release. He wants to make sure Sisko knows that there's not going to be a reward. So now Sisko's talking to the everyday people that if you've had enough, make your leader stop and listen. If you've had enough, make them stop. So Sisko is saying in a matter of days, when our rescue party arrives, I can arrange to have us all taken off this moon if you guys can only cooperate until then. And so he said different planets Different, yeah. Imagine that, different planets. So now the aliens want to know why Cisco allied themselves with these other guys. And Cisco says, we didn't ally ourselves with anyone. This is basically an allegory for the Turdistan-Karoga War, except that Karoga was in the right. John DeMarco says Cisco interprets the Prime Directive how he likes, and you'll deal with it. Absolutely. So basically, the aliens can't be trusted. They're gonna fight, and they're stabbing each other in front of Cisco. They said they'd never let the other ones leave alive. I don't know. One of them is attacking Cisco, but of course, you can't take down the Cisco. Even if he's unarmed, he's going to win. This feels like some good TOS fight music here. Like I'm waiting for the Gorn to come walking on. Yeah. And now Dr. Bashir jumps across and saves Cisco from being hit. And Dr. Bashir says, sorry, Commander, I just found out we can't afford to die here, not even once. So now we know something else is going on. And I'm wondering why I punched myself in the face. So Dax and O'Brien have finally found them. They found the satellites. So O'Brien's wondering why the transponder isn't functioning, and so O'Brien said, go to a high orbit because they were being scanned by the satellite. So O'Brien realizes that those satellites are causing the problem, and the satellites are probably the reason that the other runabout went down. So good thinking, O'Brien. You earned your pay for the week. Does that runabout have a torpedo launcher? I don't know that I've ever seen runabouts fire torpedoes. Maybe automatic fire suppression, Dan? Well, you would think it would have turned on. So, and once somebody gets killed, the body becomes permanently dependent upon the nanites. And if you transport anybody off the planet, the nanites stop working. They made the nanites environmentally specific because they were that vindictive. They were total assholes. They made this so that the people had to stay here and couldn't leave. So, they're communicating. O'Brien and Dax got radio communication with Cisco. He tells them we're alive, but the satellites will come after them, and that the runabout's been destroyed. Yeah, where are the probes launched from a runabout? That's a good question, Dan. That's a good question. I wonder if this runabout has one of the science pods on top. It could be from there. So, there's no ceasefire. So, yeah, Kira and Opaka come over. They ask about the ceasefire. Cisco says there's no ceasefire. And Opaka says Kira was right. Opaka also informs them that she'll be staying. And she says this is the answer to all of her prophecies of her life. And Kira is like, you can't stay. That's not right. And Opaka's like, I didn't know how or why, but I knew when I came through the wormhole I wouldn't be returning. She was brought here because it's time for these people to begin their healing process. The prophets have guided her here. So O'Brien is saying all they have to do is create a gap. And the rain, a lot of thunder. A lot of thunder and rain. But this is O'Brien at his best. This is the O'Brien that could have been useful in engineering on the Enterprise. O'Brien just needs a 15% increase in the net opening. So he's going to come up with a brilliant plan. Rio Grande to Cisco. They're going to try to poke a hole. And the severe thunderstorm warning is just coming across my email and phone. So Cisco just told them that Kai Opaka is not going to be coming up with them. And so Dax wants confirmation that you're not bringing the Kai. And so now the alien Mike is coming over and says, why are you leaving without us? And Bashir says, yeah, my analysis shows you can't leave here without dying. And so alien Mike says, so there is no leaving. So Bashir is saying that he's in a moral quandary. Even though he's programmed as a doctor to do no harm, he also doesn't want to see suffering. So Bashir is saying that he can reprogram the nanites so that the death makes death actual permanent. Now he could reprogram the nanites to just kill them right now. But Mike is begging them. Mike is begging Cisco to please make it disabled microbes. But now Mike is saying that no, he only wants it so that he could destroy their enemies. So Cisco's not going to let him reprogram anything. Mike is going to have to suffer for eternity. Or Kai Opaka. Poor Kai. Wonder whatever happened to Kai Opaka. Too bad we never got a follow-up episode. We are less than 2 minutes from the ending. So basically they're just going to beam away. Cisco beams away, leaves two warring factions of aliens on a planet they can never leave, even though they have nanite technology that could arguably possibly be used to defeat the Borg. He never goes back. He never checks on Kai Opaka. No other Bajoran ever comes to check on Kai Opaka. Best we can tell. It's not a secret that Kai Opaka is there, I'd imagine. I assume this world stays out of the Dominion War. Oh, Kai Opaka. Kai Opaka tells Cisco that her pa and his will cross again. Although we don't really see it, so maybe they don't cross until the Celestial Temple. And that's it, they beamed away. So somewhere out there, far beyond the stars, Alien Mike is constantly at war with other aliens, and Zombie Kai Opaka is trying to teach them peace. Zombie Kai. That's what we should have called this episode. Zombie Kai. So there we go. That was the episode. Battle Lines, Deep Space Nine. I have to say, definitely one of my favorites from season one. I started off saying I don't know if it was one of my favorites, but it was above average. No, it's actually certainly one of my favorites from Season 1. Probably in the top 5 of Season 1. For sure. And Season 1 isn't a very long season, by the way. Season 1 is not as long as the rest of the seasons. Oh shit! Man, there was lightning right here.
Holy shit.
Oh my god, guys. Oh my god. That was the loudest thunder I ever heard.
Me too.
Holy shit. I'm taking this earphones out. I don't want this to go to my head. Oh my god. Shields up. Wow, I felt that one. Sassy's up. Mamo Praise up. Oh my god. Oh. I'm so sorry, guys.
It's okay, Fanny. It's okay, babe.
Where am I? I don't even know what happened. Where's the windows go? I knocked everything off the screen. Well, that might become a super chat. That might become a super chat. Chrono says, oh no, the next episode is the storyteller. Yuck. Chrono says, wow, I felt that one. V says, shields up. John DeMarco says, storyteller isn't great, but it is important for the beginning of the O'Brien-Bashir friendship. Yes. Shromor says, the ancient Britons had Boudica. Kuroga has Sassy. Beaglecia. Doggo Prey 5. Josh says, bird screams like a little girl. Kronos says, Rip Joe. Wesley says, his bird's still alive. Yeah, but barely. Barely. P says, the camera shook and added to the experience. Yeah, that was like a TOS or TNG. The camera shaking because we're being hit by torpedoes. Heart rate is at 98. Or is it 89? No, it's 98. Oh, man. Joseph says, wow, we had something similar here about 1 hour ago. It was scary AF. Yes, scary AF is exactly how I describe it, Joseph. Chrono says, hey, they are right over you. Sometimes I pee a little. The problem right now, Chronos, is that I am scared AF to use the vacuum, because as you know, the vacuum is plugged into the electrical outlet. So when I have to pee during a thunderstorm, it freaks me the hell out. Showmore says, that was loud. Even I almost crap myself. Rambling Canuck says, now you know how your people feel in City Skylines Bird of Prey when you go on a rampage. Lol. Alexander, welcome, Alexander. We want MCU Aunt May naked forever. Sure. But sooner than later, Alexander, because she's getting up there. She's getting up there. Wesley says, that was so loud I could hear it from here. Dan23 says, what happened? Thunder, lightning strike. Thunder, loud crack of thunder. A strike must have hit within a block or something. I can't. I've been close to strikes before, but goddamn, that was the loudest one I've ever heard.
Can you just shut the camera for a minute while I just want to walk you?
Yeah. I'm going to sign off now, guys.
No, I don't need
No, I'm signing off anyway. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thor got mad. I'm going to call it a day because I do want to shut down because of the storm. Take care, all. I will see you guys around. I'll see you on another stream or something. Otherwise, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Qapla, and yeah, good night. Stay clear of the thunder and the lightning.
For watching my
More
video,
lightning.
Please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell icon. Without it, you won't get notifications of new videos. Check out BirdoPrey5.com, the new home of everything Birdo Prey 5 on the web. You can also check out my forum at juot.net. I'm also on social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Gab. If you'd like to make a donation, check out paypal.me/BirdoPrey5 or on BirdoPrey5.com. Take care.